Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Junaid and I'm a graduate? I'm a senior data analyst working for a financial services firm in central London. Now when I tell people I'm a data analyst, some people know what I'm talking about and some people sort of say, oh, so do you work with Excel? And I say, that's not all it is. First and foremost, if there's a slight hum in the background, I apologize. It's 32 degrees outside today and we have the air conditioning running, without which I'd probably melt. So I'll do my best to remove it in post, but if it's there, then just understand that's the only reason I'm still alive. Okay, so in this video I'm going to break down what data analysts actually do, the tools we use, the problems we solve, how a data analyst fits into a business, how the industry and the jobs changed over the last few years, and how I've seen it change firsthand. So if you're trying to get into data or you're just curious about what a data analyst does, then this is for you. So what does a data analyst actually do? Here's the breakdown. At its core, the job of a data analyst is to help a business make better and smarter strategic decisions. Now, a data analyst will do that by taking lots of messy data and turning it into something that the business will understand. For example, if you're running a store and you have a lot of customer data, you have a spreadsheet with data including everything from what a customer buys to what a customer spends in your store, having that data in and of itself isn't too helpful in terms of being able to understand the overall experience that a customer has in your store. Now, what a data analyst will do is come and take all of that data, crunch the numbers, analyze that information, and come out and tell you which products of yours sold the best, which products of yours sold the least, which products of yours were marketed the best perhaps, which products customers wanted more of, which customers even were repeat customers, and things like that. So if you're running a business and you have any questions with how the business is doing, how you could potentially improve your profit, how you could potentially improve your efficiencies, what products are working, what products aren't working, what customers want to see, that's where a data analyst comes in. Now, as another example, let's say you're a data analyst working within a company that has a HR team. Now, HR is going to have their own metrics and data that they work with. Let's say HR run an employee survey every month to understand what employees like, what they don't like, any issues they're having. Now, a data analyst could collate that data for the HR team and create a dashboard that HR can use to monitor that survey data. A good data analyst will even take that dashboard and make it so that HR can upload new survey results into that dashboard and update it as and when required. So, helping businesses find efficiencies, helping businesses identify which products are selling best, essentially maximizing profit, helping even niche teams like HR with their KPIs and metrics, managing those KPIs and metrics, running reports and numbers to understand why sales dropped last quarter for a business, for example. Those are the kind of things that data analysts can do. And now you might just think it's about crunching numbers and analysis. That's not the case. It's not all about numbers. A key aspect of data analysis or being a data analyst is storytelling, communication, being able to explain what your findings were to the people that matter the most, whether that be senior stakeholders, whether that be CEOs, CFOs, or other C-suite executives, or even fellow analysts. Your job as a data analyst isn't just to know the answer, it's to explain the answer in a way that helps someone else able to make a decision off of your explanation. Now, the growth of business data over the last 20, 30 years has been absolutely exponential. And it's ultimately one of the key reasons why roles like data analysts or data scientists exist at such a large scale. Here are some stats on the global data explosion. This is from Statista. In 2003, the total amount of data ever created was roughly 5 exabytes. Wow, that sounds like a lot, but hold on for this. Wowzers. By 2026, we're expected to generate over 181 zettabytes of data annually. Just for your information, 1 zettabyte is 1 billion terabytes. And we're expected to generate over 181 zettabytes annually? That is insane. 90% of the world's data was created in just the last 2 years, since 2023. That includes business data from CRM systems, e-commerce, sensors, internal operations, and more. The average company now doubles the volume of data that they hold or maintain over 12 to 18 months. So you can see this whole expansion of data is just absolutely exponential. Currently, there's only one way of figuring out what all that data says, and that's by hiring a data analyst or a team of data analysts. Now, what does a typical day look like for me? I'm a data analyst. I work in financial services. I have exposure to a lot of different clients from the insurance industry, the investment industry, the accounting industry, and the actuarial industry, encompassing financial services. So what does a typical day look like for me? Well, when I get into the office, I'll usually start off by answering any emails in my inbox. And once that's done, I'll generally get started on a weekly market monitoring report that I publish, which covers financial metrics and parameters like net short positions and companies undergoing stress for FTSE 350 companies, which is presented to certain specific stakeholders and clients. Now, for that report, I'll be taking data from a bunch of different sources, collating it together and conducting a bunch of calculations, working out ratios and ensuring that the output of that report is correct. So already I've encompassed a lot of ETL processing. Now, alongside that, I'll likely have an ad hoc client request running alongside that over the last weeks or so, which is usually a client asking for a subset of data which they can use to inform a decision they want to make or inform a new product they might want to offer to their customers. For example, one of the projects I worked on was providing share price for a company that had recently gone into compulsory liquidation in 2019. Now, I was providing that share price data from 2019 backdated to 2006, and my job was to forecast what that share price may have looked like had the company not gone into compulsory liquidation. That's what the client wanted. So that includes a little bit of predictive modeling, forecasting, and also I worked closely with the economists to ensure any economic factors that may have affected the industry the company was in, that may have affected the company itself after it had gone into compulsory liquidation, were taken into account in the model that we built. So there's an ad hoc client request. That can be quite technical and complicated and take a lot of manpower like economists and myself to complete. But there can also be the case where clients just want data and analysis and recommendations. Fairly straightforward. Alongside all of that, I'll have a bunch of meetings with clients, updating them on projects, updating them on the work I'm completing for them. It could be a delivery presentation where I'm delivering all the insights I've found. There'll also be meetings with the economists, the researchers, other teams within the organization to work out where a certain project's landed or if we need anything from them or they need anything from us. Recently, there's been a focus on the self-serve analytics side of things. So if I take the HR dashboard example I gave earlier, my job is also now to train the different teams within the organization on how to best utilize the tools that we're setting up for them. So that HR dashboard that I created, I'll go to HR, I'll tell them, here's the dashboard, here's what it's showing, here's how you input the data into it. And then I'll show them how to input next month's data into that dashboard so they can view it for themselves. I'll set up a string of training sessions for them, and more often than not, that happens with clients as well. I'll deliver a dashboard or a report to them, and then I'll hold a string of meetings to ensure not only that the data is working for them, but also they know how to update that report or dashboard as and how they like. On the software side of things, I'm lucky in the sense that I get exposure to all of this. We've been working on a large digital reporting software project, encompasses a bespoke piece of software for a different subset of clients. And so we were acting as consultants for those clients, creating that piece of software for them. It's essentially a viewer for which they can plug into any financial report and put out bits of information. And so installing that software onto client devices, creating the solutions for them, creating documentation for them so they can use that and utilize that piece of software that we've installed for them. So that on the software development side of things as well. Now, this doesn't happen all in a day. That would be a pretty hectic day. But that software project has been overarching a lot of my daily tasks as well. Alongside that, you could be working on a quality assurance task where in the team I work in, there's a process by which quality assurance takes place. One analyst works on the project, they send it to another analyst with a quality assurance list to work through, see if they can work through that project, see if the documentation is all correct, see if the data is all correct, perhaps find a different way that the original analyst hasn't thought of, and work through that as well. So there's constantly that quality assurance side of things as well. That way you're really ensuring data robustness, data integrity, data accuracy, and just improving processing efficiency as much as possible. If I'm working on an ad hoc client request, I may need to go into the SQL data feeds that we maintain and pull out data straight from a data warehouse or a data table and combine it with data from one of our subscription databases that provide us information on companies, and then take that data or take data as it comes and create a dashboard for a client. There's a bunch of other stuff that goes into a typical day in the life for me. I'll leave the link to the day in the life vlogs down in the description below, and I'll link some up up here, I believe. So what are data analysts responsible for? So here's what you're actually responsible for as a data analyst. The actual core practical responsibilities. Number one, data collection. Pulling data from SQL warehouses, APIs, spreadsheets, internal databases, or subscription databases. Number two, data cleaning. Data cleaning encompasses removing duplicates, correcting errors, and dealing with any missing values. Number three, analysis. So finding trends, patterns, analyzing that data to really get to the bottom of what that data is telling you. Alongside that, building models, calculating metrics, calculating ratios. Number four, visualization. That means presenting your insights and analysis in a digestible way that your client or the senior stakeholder is going to understand. And number five, stakeholder management. You're essentially taking often vague requests from stakeholders or clients and really getting to the bottom of the issue or problem that they're having and trying to solve. A lot of the time it can seem as though the job isn't glamorous, but there are aspects where you're exposed to so many different tools and software and different types of clients and stakeholders and industries where it really does turn into a dynamic environment. All right, here's how the data analyst industry has changed over the last 2 to 3 years. I've seen these changes firsthand. I joined as a data analyst, a junior data analyst, almost 3 years ago now. AI was not at the forefront of anyone's tongues. There was no mention of AI. There was no real integration of AI or AI tools into any of those tools, software, workflows, or data processes that we did. Over the last 3 years, that has changed. There's a lot more AI that's being introduced into data roles, and you can use simple AI for mapping out a project, which has become really, really helpful. I project managed a project, and for the initial consultative session, the discovery phase, I used ChatGPT and DeepSeek to create a project plan. And when we ran through that project plan in the session, it had surprisingly picked up on steps that we would have otherwise just missed, or maybe not missed, we would have discovered at a later date. So that was really, really helpful. Now, aside from the AI side of things, self-service analytics. I'm seeing that more and more, not only in the job I'm currently in, but also in job descriptions. Data analyst jobs are now asking for more self-serve analytics. Jobs don't want a data analyst just to be an analyst. They want data analysts to err more on the side of consultants, almost. More and more jobs want teams to do the analysis, where a data analyst's job becomes more strategic. A few years ago, being a data analyst meant that if you know SQL, Excel, Power BI, or Tableau, and maybe a programming language like Python or R, you're in. But the industry's shifting, and shifting fast. Another reason why I keep saying communication is so important is because AI tools are more and more being integrated into data processing and workflows. AI tools can create the queries and the software syntax and generate summaries and queries. And so the soft skills matter even more. And data engineering skills are getting more and more important. Even for data analysts, you might be working more with data pipelines or data warehousing, and having those skills as a data analyst is more and more important. Also, analysts are expected now to understand not just the data, but the business. And that means understanding products, understanding industries, understanding customers, understanding KPIs, understanding operations, and not just columns and rows of data. So there you have it. That's what a data analyst actually does. Updated for 2025. If this video is useful, be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and be sure to let me know down in the comments what you'd like me to cover next. If you want to book a resume review, a one-to-one session, portfolio review perhaps, a project review, I've got a link down in the description where you can book in a time slot for that. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.